Okay, so good afternoon, or almost good evening, everyone. For public defense of TJ, as we say, we never managed to get his name right. Something like Tuğrulcan, I never could do that well, so at the end we ended up on that.
I can give you a supplant. Tuğrulcan.
Tuğrulcan. Okay. So, as you probably do not all know, the process here at EPFL for completing a PhD thesis is the following. After many years of hard work, the candidate submits the thesis report to a committee of eminent scientists who evaluate the scientific value in a private exam. So there you have not been. But this part he mastered clearly with excellence. But that is not enough. EPFL also demands then a public presentation to be able afterwards to officially receive the title of the PhD, become Dr. Tuğrulcan. Okay, so it's a pleasure to welcome you to the presentation. So it's a pleasure for me to welcome, as I understand, the official representation of Turkey here in this presentation. So I had to make over 20 years at EPFL to finally manage to get thesis defense diplomatic representatives. That was hard. So thanks for that. That will also go into my annals. And so then I think we're ready to listen to what you have to say so that we can appreciate the hard work that you have done.
Thank you so much. So, dear Ms. Consul General, dear professors, dear colleagues, dear friends, I thank you all for accepting my invitation and joining me in my public defense today. So what will happen next is that I will talk approximately for 30 minutes and hopefully I will be able to tell you something new that you don't already know. And you ask me questions and hopefully I will answer, then we will go have some çiğ köfte. My thesis is titled The Role of Compromised Accounts in Social Media Manipulation. And you may wonder, what does compromise mean? In layman's terms, compromise means hacked. So the bad guys take over your social media accounts and then they use it to manipulate social media, spread disinformation, use them as fake followers, etc. So I first begin with a recap of how traditional media works. Let's say we are in the beautiful country of Switzerland, and there are events happening in different parts of the country. University of Bern discovers that lemongrass cures cancer. Refugees arrive in St. Gallen. And TJ from Lausanne lost his bird. The journalists working for news media would collect these events, sort them according to their importance, and then they may discard the events that may not be important enough to publish. But what's more critical is that they may also fact-check these news and may find that some of them are in fact fake news and may discard them. However, there are more things to decide. Refugees arrive in St. Gallen. Is this news local or does it deserve nationwide coverage? Should it be presented positively or negatively? This decision-making process is called gatekeeping and is done mainly by humans when it comes to traditional media. However, social media is different. There is no such meticulous gatekeeping process. Part of it works like traditional media. You subscribe to newspapers and the newspapers provide you with the news through their social media accounts. However, on social media, every account can act like newspapers and you may subscribe to all kinds of news. Most importantly, the social media breeds the information you do not ask for, which may be harmful. Normally, you shouldn't be able to expose to such information if you do not subscribe to their producers. However, social media allows the flow of such unsolicited information. Bad guys want to spread their harmful content, and to do that, they manipulate the social media platform. And if they are successful, the social media platform may amplify such harmful content to users who didn't ask for them. So where do we see such content that we do not ask for? Well, social media platforms have dedicated sections where they recommend content. Twitter Trends shows popular topics and the post mentioning these topics. Instagram Explorer shows you all kinds of crazy videos from the people you do not follow. YouTube homepage is also full of recommendations, and your Facebook timeline also. They are there because the platforms decide to show them to you automatically. And the bad guys can manipulate the platform's decision process. So how do bad guys manipulate social media? What do they use? To answer that, I directed a film with friends from UNIL 3 years ago, and I would like to show you in this public defense. It's a short film of 2 minutes only, and it's in English with Turkish subtitles, and I hope you like it, and I hope you will like the subtitles as well.
Cancer kills almost 10 million people per year. Many different types of drugs against cancer have been developed. Still, for some patients, these drugs simply don't work. A recent study showed that lemongrass oil could be a revolutionary remedy to stop cancer cell proliferation. You know what? That was all fake. I've been very clever. First, I went to instafollowers.com. I bought myself 10,000 fake followers. I'm popular now, though my followers are not humans. They are all bots. Look how cute they are. Next strategy, get the hashtag trending. Here I got a little bit sophisticated. In fact, this is my masterpiece. Do you remember the stupid app that you installed this morning to check who looked at your Twitter profile? Well, you just gave me your password. I tweet from your account when you're not looking. You could be anywhere, at the gym, at the cinema, talking to your friends. In the meantime, you get my hashtag trending. Then I delete my tweets from your account, and you have no idea what's going on. It's all that simple. I tricked Twitter, I tricked you. And my last strategy, I use humans. Like this guy, he's doing great. He's my favorite employee. Welcome to my world of manipulation, buddy. Here's your money. Now you can get your pizza. This is how I manipulated social media to make money. And I guess someone could get hurt.
So in the movie, we see that the bad guy used 3 types of social media accounts: automated accounts or bots, paid humans or trolls, portrayed by a random grandpa here, or hacked accounts portrayed by my ex iPhone X. And like I said before, the contribution of this thesis is the evidence of hacked accounts used as bots and trolls. If you Google bots and trolls, you will see many scientific articles. But our work is the first to show that hacked accounts are employed as bots and trolls to manipulate social media. And we do this by 3 steps. First, we analyze an email attack that uses humans or hacked accounts as bots. Second, we do a study of implications. We provide alternative explanations to bot behaviors described in the bot research. And third, we introduce a new approach to detect hacked accounts. So let's begin by the first part, analysis of a new attack. Twitter Trends is a Twitter feature that shows the users the popular topics in a given moment. The bad guys manipulate this feature to push the trends they want on the trends list so that they can gain more visibility and reach a broad audience. Twitter Trends works in the following way. Many social media users mention a topic, a hashtag or slogan, and they do it at the same time. either independently or in an organized manner. So in this case, they say lemongrass at the same time. Then the Twitter's trending algorithm recognizes this as a trending topic, and it publishes the topic to other Twitter users in the same region. And the scientists will observe this activity and infer that people organize behind this hashtag. And what happens in the case of astroturfing is that there are bad guys that sponsor the organizing. They use multiple fake accounts that act as if they are regular people organizing behind the hashtag. But this is easy to detect by the scientists or by the platform. They can easily report that the hashtag is fake and is trending due to fake accounts. In the case of ephemeral astroturfing, which we introduced in this work, there is again a bad guy running accounts that say the same thing together. But what's different is that the account deletes the tweets that push a trend to trends list, and the trending algorithm doesn't take those deletions into account. So it continues to show the fake trend in the trends list. Also, since the trend is already announced to Twitter users, the other users seeing the new trend start to talk about it and maintain its popularity. In this case, the scientists cannot reliably attribute the fake hashtag to fake accounts because they cannot collect the data. But what's more interesting is that in the ephemeral astroturfings we observe, some of the users weren't fake accounts but hacked accounts belonging to humans. This makes it challenging for Twitter to detect these accounts and the manipulations because the users have malicious behavior only in creating fake trends. So those accounts do not alarm the Twitter's fake account detection systems easily. And it's also problematic for Twitter to just outright remove them. And what's even more interesting is that the owners of the hacked accounts were still using their accounts despite the fact that the accounts were doing trend manipulation. The bad guys didn't claim full control of the account. They were just using them to create fake trends and otherwise leave the accounts alone. They were deleting the tweets super fast, so some users weren't even aware of the problem. And some of them were aware, but didn't know what to do about it, as in this case. We discovered that the hacked accounts were involved because we observed many users like this. They did not seem like bots, and they were complaining that their accounts were hacked. But we had the hard evidence by following a simple honeypot method. We created a fake account, we leaked its password, meaning that we signed up to a Who Look at Your Profile website, and we gave it our username and password, and then our account was hacked also and were used as a bot to create fake trends. So we got a homemade bot. And after introducing the attack, we tackled the task of detecting those fake trends. For that, we used a sample of a real-time Twitter data. Most Twitter studies collect the data after they are posted. But in such a case, they wouldn't be able to collect the tweets by bots because they were already deleted before they were collected. So we collect them at the moment they are posted so that we collected the tweets before they were deleted. And then we build a small data set of fake trends and use this data set to mass detect all the fake trends using machine learning. We detected 19,000 fake trends by 108,000 bots, which is a massive bot dataset. And the trends were related to political campaigns, especially during 2019 Turkish elections. There were also a lot of advertisements and all kinds of trends like marriage proposals. An interesting finding of our analysis is that the bots were promoting trends of different political parties. So the bad guys weren't aligned with a single political party, but were providing the service to anybody, probably in exchange for money or in Bitcoin. We also find that the trends created by this attack make up most of the Twitter trends in Turkey. At least 47% of Twitter trends in Turkey were found to be fake. And at least 20% of global trends were found to be fake. And as you may already know, this study made us famous for a week or so. It was published in newspapers, blogs, and on TV as well. It was framed as a study from the Swiss scientists. Swiss scientists here. And before publishing it, I thought maybe not everybody will like this study, but I was wrong, and our study is published by the news agencies of different ideologies. So I think we were successful in preserving the scientific objectivity. This work also boosted EPFL's popularity, marginally, but not in a way that I expected. So EPFL just became a Swiss research company, thanks to us. So you may ask, why did you only study Turkey, or Turkish trends? And the answer is, the attack happens only in Turkey. And why it only happens in Turkey? Unfortunately, I don't have the answer for that. Maybe the Turkish hackers were the best hackers of the world. Another question that you may ask is that, can Twitter prevent this? The official answer is, I do not know. The unofficial answer is, we contacted Twitter through hackerone.com and described the attacks and the findings of this study, and initially they said this could be a valid security issue and decided to investigate it. And after a month, they replied again. They acknowledged the problem, but they said they will not do any changes. And they closed our report. Since Twitter doesn't help, we created our own countermeasure. We created a Twitter bot that reports these attacks in real time. So when the users click on a fake trend, they see that the bot declares it as a fake trend. And so they became aware of the fake trends. This worked for most of the times. However, unfortunately, some users misunderstood the aim of the bot, and they started to send us some direct messages. And they asked for the price of the fake trend service. Second part of my thesis is the implications of bots who are actually hacked accounts. So we found that bots are hacked accounts, how this changed our knowledge in social media bot science. So earlier we said that the bad guy employ bot accounts for trending topics, and they also use them for other tasks like artificially increasing their followers or sharing disinformation. The scientists observe these bots and do some analysis to describe their behaviors and build detection systems. Bots on Twitter used to look very basic. No photo, no bio, no photo, no bio, a lot of followings, a few followers back, and spammy looking tweets that are advertisements. However, recent studies claim that Twitter bots, named social bots, evolved to be much more sophisticated than this. They are designed to mimic humans, and they are much more clever, and so they are hard to catch. Such studies also claim that those social bots have significant impact on spreading disinformation and even change the outcome of elections. And because of such ambitious claims, they are recently being criticized by other researchers, as in this case. So we collected a social bot dataset to study the claims of social bot research. And this type of research claims the following. Social bots have human-like behavior, they have human pictures, social bots mix human activity with automated activity, and they are hard to catch. So we studied claims and come up with an answer, which is a yes and a no. Yes, those bots really show these behaviors, but it's not because they are designed to be human-like or they are technologically advanced. There is an alternative explanation to these behaviors. So this is an account from the dataset we analyzed. You see that it has personal pictures, a birthday, tweets, and everything. So if you inspect the accounts closely, you wouldn't believe it was a bot. And it wasn't a bot. In a certain period of time, the account was hacked and was retweeting others automatically. At that time, It had bot-like behaviors and human-like behaviors together, which fits to the description of a social bot. So those claims were true, not because the bad guys designed super smart human-like bots, but they hacked human accounts and used them as bots. Of course, this was an oversimplification of our analysis, and you are welcome to read our paper to know the details, or see me after the presentation. And the final part is a new approach to detecting hacked accounts. Social media platforms amplify popular content, and they do the same for popular people as well. So, for example, you may not be following Elon Musk, but you may be seeing his tweets on Twitter all the time. However, if you are a troll that has 0 followers, you can tweet any type of disinformation you want, but nobody will be exposed to that, and the impact will be 0. Therefore, it's a better strategy to hack such a popular account so that you can use this popular account to spread your conspiracy theories. In fact, this is what happened in 2020. Somebody hacked the accounts of celebrities on Twitter, and from these accounts, they asked for Bitcoin in exchange for Bitcoin. And they made a small fortune, but they were caught within an hour. So such hacking operations are very easy to understand and to detect. However, there are more subtle hackings that you cannot understand or detect easily. For instance, this is the official account of a minor political party in Turkey, and it was found in 2020. Can you tell if this account is hacked too? In fact, this account was created in 2009 to represent a Brazilian model named Juliana Knust. However, her account was hacked and it was sold to this political party, and the party changed the account's name and other profile features. However, the followers stay intact, and there are still a lot of Brazilians following this political party because they initially followed this Brazilian model. So how does this work? On Twitter, each account has profile features such as an ID, name, profile handle, and a bio. The owner can change those profile features except for the ID. So a hacker can take over accounts, change any way they like, and use them for a different purpose overnight. But the account stays the same, and its ID doesn't change. We call this misleading repurposing because they repurpose an existing account and they do it in a misleading way. Detecting such hacking operations wasn't tackled before until we came to rescue. This is because finding data to detect such changes is very challenging. Twitter doesn't provide the old versions of accounts, so you cannot see the old names of an account. So we had to mine external datasets which captured the old versions of Twitter accounts to overcome this challenge. We find the old and the new version of an account, then we create features that may help to decide whether if these two versions are similar or different, so that we can say the account is repurposed. We create the features based on the change in name and the bio of the accounts using textual similarity. We create the features based on the change. We also use the difference in numerical profile features. So if the tweets in the new version are deleted, this may mean that the account is repurposed. And we detect if the styling of the tweets are changed. And we use machine learning to automatically detect if the account is repurposed using those features. And lastly, my master's students create an open source intelligence tool so that researchers can discover such troll accounts. And I would like to quickly show you. Unfortunately, this is the hardest part of the presentation. Okay, I will finish the presentation then show you. Okay, so pop quiz, first time in a PhD defense. What percent of the Twitter trends in Turkey were found to be fake?
47.
Please raise your hands. A, okay, spoilers. Percent 38%. B, 47%. Okay, good. Okay, so thanks for listening, and if you are interested, you can see those papers that published in good conferences and became part of this thesis, or you may contact me on those accounts, or you can see me in the Apro to ask questions. But I have also this tool that still I want to show you. Okay, so I already opened this. So this is the web application, and you see the attributes, the profile of the party. And if you look at the old attributes of the party, you see that in 2020, it changed from Jiyuk to Türkiye Değişim Partisi. And you see this happened in 2020, but the account gained its followers until 2020, so it gained earlier, but the party wasn't found by then, which means that the Brazilian model were gaining followers. And you will also see that in 2020, it deleted all his or her or its tweets, because the hacker hacked the accounts and deleted everything. And you will see the same behavior on favorites counts or like counts. So the Brazilian model were liking stuff on Twitter, cat videos and everything, and in 2020 the hacker deleted all of them. So if you want to root out such accounts, you can easily use this open source intelligence tool. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much.
Okay, so now feel free to ask questions about not this 40-70% question, but probably any others.
Yes?
Yeah, so I have one question. So you mentioned that out of all the countries or regions that is that you only found one for Turkey, right? I'm just wondering what are other regions that you experimented with?
So I said we used a real-time sample. So this includes sample from every country. And this real-time sample also provides you deletion notices. So what we did is that we made a histogram of deletion notices. So we looked which countries or which languages had the most deletion notices. And we see an anomaly in Turkish tweets, that there were a lot of deletion notices that were happening together at the same time. From this statistic, we judged that these were only happening in Turkey. But I had one recent news that it started to be in Qatar as well, and Al Jazeera contacted me, and but I investigated by myself, but didn't see anything. So I don't know. Maybe they also start to do that. I didn't follow that, but it's theoretically possible, I think, to do that on other countries as well.
One more thing. Do you notice some significant difference in terms of the time flow? So, for example, maybe it's near the election time, you'll see huge increase in such fake news, and then maybe in other days it's like the percentage drops significantly. Do you notice this kind of temporal change?
Yes, of course. So most of these works were done in near 2019 elections. So I think this was the time that there were a lot of fake trends, and I think like right now it's a bit like less. There are less fake trends. I don't know the exact answer, but it may be less than 47%. But the other case is that we are using a sample, which is 1%. So also we are reporting at least, because we don't have all the tweets, so we may be missing a lot of trends as well.
But you didn't sample, for example, before the US election. It was only when it was before the Turkish election.
No, we didn't sample before the US election. We also had the data from 2015, but it wasn't during the US elections. But if this was happening in US, they would be more proactive. I mean, Twitter would be more proactive to prevent it. And this is just a speculation. I'm not from Twitter. I don't know. Yeah.
I have one question. So in the slide you also showed that 20% of the global trends are also fake.
Yes.
Is it the same mean of fake as this attack that you discovered, or is it?
No. It's the trends that made by those attacks. So again, Turkish trends. But the thing is, the bots seem to be used by Turks, but they also sometimes trend in other countries, especially when it comes to crypto coins.
It's impressive that they can manipulate 20% of the global.
Yeah, I'm also impressed. I'm as surprised as you. Any other questions? Yes.
Yeah. So when detecting repurposed accounts,
Uh-huh.
how do you have access to all the historical data?
So there's a website called Internet Archive, or you may know it as Wayback Machine. So this archive is massive and it archives a lot of other kinds of data, and also the sample of all tweets from Twitter from 2011 to 2022 or something, but they recently stopped. That's okay. So you can just download this data and do the same analysis like this. Only problem is that it's a massive data set. So when I downloaded in compressed format, it was almost 8 terabytes. And when you unzip it, it becomes massive. So it's hard to do without, like, by yourself. But if you want, like, if you are interested in a specific period, for example, for a month, you can download and use it for yourself. Yes,
And
of course.
A follow-up. Maybe it's out of scope, but like, I mean, do you know what's the purpose of this data set? Who collects it, and maybe it's actually manipulated?
You have to trust the archive people.
Yeah.
I mean, same as you trust the librarians.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe they are taking out the fake trends in US and uploading it, so I cannot find the fake trends in US. Yes?
Would you clearly say the deletion is the main culprit here, in the sense that if it should be maybe Apple removed as a feature, and Twitter as the owner of sorts has all the event logs coming one after another, tweets and untweets, let's say. Is it as simple as some simple anomaly detection technique they could use to just prevent these all trends? Let's say fake trends?
That's a very good question. Actually, my fake trend alert bot is using simple anomaly detection to collect these fake trends, and it's reporting it, and it's, I think, very precise. Like, I see very few anomalies, and so they would just use it. Maybe they don't have the resources yet, a team to look at this, or like, I don't know, maybe they are employing less people, or it's not in the priority yet. But Ontario, I think they could use anomaly detection. And you asked if the deletions are main culprits, and yeah, I think they can use the deletions for anomaly detection as well, but also the tweets that are used in this fake trends, like the actual tweets, not the deletions, they're also anomalous. So they can use these anomalous tweets as well. But one thing, so this is different, that there are deletions, and the problem is that if there were no deletions, like if they considered deletions, the scientists could see the fakeness of the hashtags. So it will be same as normal AstroTurf things. So it wouldn't be like, it will be an attack that we already know. But the problem is that because they are deleted, as scientists we cannot do anything except for like collecting real-time sample, etc. That's the main issue here. Yes, Elif?
I wanted to learn that how did you decide to study this subject?
Fake trends or everything?
Yes, everything.
I was born as troll, so I wanted to do troll science. I was going to tell it in the acknowledgements, but I can tell you now. It was a bit of luck that when I started Ph.D. in 2017, we had the US elections and Donald Trump became the president, and there were a lot of rumors, conspiracy theories or truth that Donald Trump became elected because of Russian trolls. So everybody was looking at the subject, and I also looked at the subject. I wanted to. I looked at Russian trolls as well, but also trolls or manipulations in other countries. And so one country is of course Turkey, and other countries was France. And I observed this misleading repurposing there when I was looking at French data. So I was looking at multiple elections and social media manipulations because of Russian trolls. Alpay.
Do the hacked accounts form a network between themselves? For example, if 10,000 accounts form to create a trend, can you observe the same 10,000 accounts when they create a second trend? Are they all?
Yes, of course, they are used multiple times. And as they are compromised or hacked users, they are more durable because Twitter cannot ban them because they are using Twitter like normal people. So they are using them as much as they can before they get suspended.
In that case, I assume you're able to tag accounts that participate in a trend and try to see if they also participate in the same trends in the future. In that way, you find which accounts are hacked or not, I assume.
Which accounts are hacked? To understand if the account is hacked or not, it's a bit different methodology. But yeah, we can understand. We can see that same accounts are used for different purposes. And I said that same accounts are used to promote different political parties because we looked at which other trends they promoted. That's how we came to this conclusion. Oh, okay. Yes, Bora.
So once these topics, hashtags, get in the trending topics, so more people will see these, and can you somehow assess if this fact changes the opinions of the people? That is, so now people will start to discuss this hashtag, some will agree, some will disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think once this hashtag is in the trend, the people's opinions start to shift?
So we do not have a solid quantitative analysis on impact, but we know that in some cases people buy this fake trend service, then they use it to show to authorities who may not be very knowledgeable of Twitter to say that everyone talks about this campaign or like I don't know, topic in Turkey, like we made our voice heard, so please help us. Everyone wants it, and people may be fooled, deceived by such campaigns as well. Matthias, yes.
Does it also have an impact on the price of cryptocurrencies?
I don't have impact analysis, but it may happen. Yes, of course, because a lot of companies called fintech companies use Twitter as a sensor to like value of a cryptocurrency. So they will be also fooled by trends, seeing that they are trending in Turkey and somewhere else, and maybe use them as input to their algorithms and buy and sell accordingly.
And did you also look into other platforms such as Instagram, Facebook?
Unfortunately, they do not provide data. But this may happen in Instagram Explorer, I think, but I'm not able to do research on it right now. Thank you. Noah?
Yes, so do you know how many accounts were hacked within the total used accounts?
Yes, we did an analysis on that, but we didn't publish it because like we changed the scope and wanted to like publish in another paper. But I know the answers, so we did annotation. We annotate 1,000 accounts, something like this, and 500 were hacked. But maybe the annotation wasn't very good, but I think like sizable portion. Because it's also very hard to understand if somebody is human or not, but I think sizable portion, yes.
Are you going to let Elon Musk know about it?
Yes, I'm waiting for it. Counting days. Awesome.
Yeah, actually it's also related to that question. So, great talk by the way. So I'm wondering your thoughts on what Elon Musk said recently about like 5% of Twitter users are basically bots. Do you think it could be possible?
Yeah, so frequently ask questions.
Yeah.
Elon Musk claims bots make 15%, Twitter estimates fewer than 5%. What do you think? Official answer is I do not know. And unofficial answer is I also do not know again. But the thing is, the problem is that the Twitter, so this is a debate of, hey, Mikael, welcome, just in time. So, Twitter reports active users, the number of active users to their partners in financial partners. And these active users shouldn't be bots, so they also report estimate of bots, so that the active users should be the ones who are seeing the advertisements. So if they are bots, they wouldn't be able to see the advertisements. So the question is whether these bots, the accounts that are controlled, are they controlled fully by humans? But it's not possible to do research on that by using the methodology we have, because we do not have enough data. So we do not have the data like if the person scrolls the mouse or like writes on keyboard, or like we don't have IP addresses, etc. And so we cannot fully assess that if some account is fully an automated account. Also, we cannot sample the data because what we have as a sample is that people who are tweeting, but there are a lot of people that only reads Twitter, and we are not able to do research. Get the data of people who just read Twitter. So for us, it's not able. We are not able to do research. But the thing is also, we do not want to do research on this because it's about finance. So it's about Twitter making money. We are more interested in if those bots are malicious and trying to spread disinformation and manipulate public. So unfortunately, I don't know. Pardon, what's your name? Can you repeat? Af. Zulu, hello.
Just one last question. So you say these are fake because they manipulate the way how
Yes.
information is
Yes.
propagated, right? But in the same way, so instead of saying this lemon breast for cancer, you can also describe something like eating apple is good for health. Right?
Of course.
So from what you consider as this kind of fake information that you have detected, like what percentage of them are actually conspiracy theory or actually harmful for public, or are they more like just advertisement-ish? Like
Yeah, we had the percentage, exact percentage in the paper. I didn't put them here. And I think half of them were advertisements, and politics were like 5 or 10. Generally like slogans like vote for this, vote for that, etc. And miscellaneous was also a lot, but like miscellaneous, I mean the ones that aren't repeating, and like marriage proposals, and I think they also make up a sizable portion. But I can give you the exact estimates after the presentation. But yeah, but if you ask like binary, malicious or not malicious, no, we do not have that. We only have the categories that we created by ourselves. Thank you for the question. Everyone's done?
So, done. Thanks for all the questions. Seems to be a quite engaging topic. Right?
I think so, yeah.
So,
it was very fun to discuss.
So now we are proceeding to the, let's say, official part of today. It will be very short, the official one, which is the transmission of the certificate. But before that, I have the bad habit to reveal some or leak some additional information that is not found in the papers. That he did probably not all. I mean, he mentioned already a few of the things in the question part. So, but let me explain it that way. I think that TJ would make a great intelligence officer if he were not a Swiss scientist. And maybe the future Turkish scientist or American scientist. I don't know what scientist, but scientist, right? So, and I can argue for that. So, it was already mentioned, how did he start to work? That was at the time where there was a president in the US, not liked by everyone. And so it was a very controversial time. And so when TJ arrived, I told him, hey, could you not try to kind of analyze and classify accounts, whether they are like this or that side, which was very easy at the time because everyone was clearly on one of the two sides. And But that was actually, but we didn't go so far to predict elections because a year before there were some companies and scientists that tried to predict the outcome of the election, and all of them were wrong. But just for the fun to try to understand this. And so then we started that, and then as you mentioned, we looked at other situations because suddenly we had many of these situations. We had the French situation with the Gilets jaunes and everyone. But we had even a Swiss situation, probably do not remember, but there was this vote about the television no bill act, right? Which was also very much of that nature. So that which relates, by the way, to the media part directly. And so during that time, I don't know whether we ever published anything major out of that, but during that time he gathered data, right? So I remember many mails where he found, oh, I found this set of trolls, I found this data. So he's really very talented in finding data. I think this is an essential point. So that was the first point. Then, by the way, then Rebecca arrived in the lab, right? And just to give a context, in the first mail that she sent, that was one line, there was the word underground forum, right? So probably he got a similar mail and he thought, great, that's it. Because after studying all these polarizations and so on, probably anyway all of this is a little bit fake and manipulated and whatever, and probably you were pretty much right with that. And so let's find the bad guys, right? And so now then he showed that incredible talent to find the bad guys. I mean, you have to have this idea that people post and delete and so on, and all of this in the public, and no one notices for years. I mean, you need to be quite paranoid to come to that point. So really, this is, I think, a really major discovery. Afterwards, it's always easy to say, right? Of course, we knew it, but before, it's a little bit more complicated. So that's I think, the second important quality. But the third one, and you have also seen an indication of that, is he's also extremely talented in engaging agents. So the number of students that have worked for TJ, I do not keep an official statistics on that, but I think it largely exceeds the number of students any other PhD students has ever engaged during the PhD career, right? Panelists, you agree to that? Yeah. So, and it's not only that he engages them, he makes them very productive, right? They build nice tools like this, and really, I mean, helped, I think, also a lot on the practical impact of the work over the time, because he had, of course, to process all the data to verify the hypothesis about the bad guys, and then the tools to verify them. So, so if you don't find a research job, which I heavily doubt, you know what to do. Okay, that was my report. Okay, so that's all for this, and now I switch for 10 seconds over to French, because now we're getting very official, right? So this is the official part, I promise, it will be super short. L'École Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne, sur proposition de la Faculté Informatique et Communication, décerne à Monsieur Tuğrulcan Elmas le grade de docteur en sciences. Le candidat prouve son aptitude à la recherche scientifique en présentant la thèse intitulée The Role of Compromised Accounts in Social Media Manipulation, et a réussi l'examen oral exigé par l'ordonnance sur le doctorat dans le cadre du programme doctoral informatique et communication dont il a suivi le cours avec succès. Félicitations.
Merci. Hi, welcome. Okay, so now there is another presentation that will be a bit longer than this. No, I'm joking, something, don't worry. Sorry. Okay, I will try to wait. Okay, I will try to speak a bit faster because I'm a bit hungry, and also in order not to get emotional. So, the second part of my thesis is named "The Role of Awesome People in This Humble Thesis," aka ACK. So I would like to start with my advisor, Karl. Before I start flattering him, I would like to share a little story. In EPFL Computer Science, we have a system that you are first hired by the department, then you come here, find a lab, and start a PhD. And in the first few weeks, the professors present their labs, then if you are interested, you can mail them and have a match and start your PhD. So when I come to EPFL, I thought I already found a lab, and I got lazy and skipped all those presentations. Then I talked to the professor that I thought I was going to work with, and he told me he didn't have the funding at the moment. And he told me at the last day of presentations. So there were only 2 presentations left, and the labs were super irrelevant. And I went to these presentations just to do a joke and say, I'm lapless, I'm desperate, and I just came here to try my luck. And at the very last presentation, Karl came and presented the exact topic I'm interested in. And I didn't know about him or his lab because he was working on something different before, and the website wasn't updated for 10 years. So I immediately mailed him and get myself in, and voila. And that was maybe the luckiest moment of my life, because he gave me a very precious gift, a job that I'm patient for, and which is troll analysis in this case. So I'm so lucky because I could build my own research stream in EPFL, and he gave me freedom, and he always pointed me to the right directions at critical moments. For instance, I initially felt bad about doing research on fake trans in Turkey because it felt a bit patriotic, but he encouraged me to work on it because he believed it was of interest to scientific community, and as we see, he was right. So one last time, thank you for being the last presenter and being my advisor and supervisor and my professor. And I would like to thank my de facto co-advisor, Rebecca. We met in my second year, and we knew each other for a while, but we started collaborating when I sent her a draft of my fake trans paper. And at that time it was just a hobby project, and I just wanted to let it out and continue working on something else, maybe Russian trolls, maybe Switzerland's elections, etc. But she advised me not to give up on it easily, and helped me to make it a solid research project. And after that, all my projects had her hands, and she helped me in the rest of my career. And also she has a cybersecurity background, and my main field is data science. But after working with her, I started to put a bit of cybersecurity perspective to data science projects and vice versa. And it's a skill that I obtained after starting to work with her. And honestly, there is no amount of thank yous to say in this presentation, so I have to pass with one. Thank you. And also, she recently proved how she managed work-life balance by promoting to be a professor and promoting to be a parent at the same time. So congratulations once again. I also would like to thank my jury members, Robert West, Savas Zanetu, Antoine Basulu, and Matthias Umber, for passing me and awarding me with the PhD degree, and also giving feedback to my thesis. During my PhD, I supervised many master student projects, and in some cases, or most of the cases, I messed up and the projects didn't go very well, but some were lucky and also worked very well, and we got excellent results and published papers. So I would like to thank them, Christina, Ahmed, Alexander, Thomas, Alfonso, Yusuf, and Matis. And I also would like to thank Marco. He recently helped me in wrapping my most recent project. In EPFL, each PhD student has a mentor, and 99% of the times they never interact. And yeah, but there's an exception. I was lucky that my mentor was Carmela, and she helped me a lot with my career choices. And unfortunately, she couldn't attend because her own Ph.D. students also defending right now. And I'm also grateful to be part of my lab LSIR. I would like to thank Chantal. She is our administrative assistant, but in my case, she had to do a lot of babysitting. I was having bureaucratic problems, and I was trying to solve them on my own, and as a result, I was creating even more problems. And finally, I was giving up and passing them to Chantal, and she does her magic. I also would like to thank Remy for helping out with organization of the lab and also with the NLP task that I was struggling with. And I tried to break his record of supervising students, but unfortunately I failed. I would like to thank Jeremy for listening to my research and supporting me with cool ideas, and also saving my private defense by coming to rescue at the last minute because I didn't know how to open the projector. And I would like to thank Tom and Panayotis for the moments that we shared inside and outside of the lab, eating and drinking together. And so when I started the PhD, I was so lost, and fortunately, I had tongue to ask questions, and I always found that we are both lost. So we go to Panayotis for help. And everyone says Panayotis is very helpful, and you request and he provides your wishes, his hands. And a few days ago I was digging through old pictures, and I found that I came up with the weirdest request, and I asked for his oranges. And he provided me plenty of oranges, freshly cold in Greece, and thanks to him I kickstarted my orange diet afterwards. And I'm grateful that I studied in EPFL because I could meet with people from different backgrounds, and we code together, sing together, cheek-köfte together, and I could always find people that share my passions. For instance, thanks to Christina and Alan, I could find my own Oriental band that are half Italians and half Turks named Galata. And thanks to Sina, I found a ski group full of Iranian people, so I could practically travel without leaving Lausanne. But of course I traveled anyway, and whenever I traveled, I could always find a friend from EPFL helping me some way. I traveled to Serbia and hanged out with Stefan and Novak before I even started EPFL. And we went to Spain with Anıl and Mert and met Rodrigo there, and I met Panayotis in Greece, and you see he's providing food again. I interacted with many other people from EPFL before I traveled to their country, and sometimes I got bored and wanted to travel within Switzerland, and Epic team led by Karen and Windra came to rescue. Once I wanted to travel to China, and as preparation, I took intermediate Chinese class in UNIL. And it was taught in French, and it was at 8 AM in the morning. So you can easily understand that this was the worst idea ever. But there I met Matthias, who showed the kindness to come here from Solothurn and became the UNIL part of my presentation, so thank you. Next, I would like to thank a community of Turkish friends which made the PhD easier and more enjoyable, especially after we all got vaccinated against coronavirus. I would like to start from Onur. He is the first person I met in EPFL. I emailed him, asking questions before I even applied to EPFL. And my questions never stopped afterwards, and he always replied patiently and helped me. And recently he multiplied and introduced me more people to thank, so I thank Natalie and Omni as well. Next, I would like to thank Arzu and Ayberk, who introduced me almost all the people that I'll be thanking in this slide, because they were very social people. And I would like to thank Ezgi for witnessing my musical skills. And I would like to thank other Ezgi, who sits just beside of the first Ezgi, for being witness to my hiking skills. And I would like to thank Gülsem for feeding me with the best hummus of the world. And you are lucky today because she also prepared some for today's apéro. And I would like to thank Utku for covering my back in the forest, so I could sleep well at nights after eating all those hummuses. And I would like to thank Sardar, for the moments we shared together that I cannot count, and we could somehow fit them into a single year. And Sardar also multiplied recently, so I thank Tuğçe for joining me today. And I would like to thank Anıl. We met in Lozak, a hackathon in EPFL, and I suggest you join it. But then we connected over numerous hobbies such as music, fantasy fiction, Gaye Su Akyol, going to Basel to eat kebab, and so on. And lastly, I would like to thank Kaan and Yiğit and remind them the second rule of Fight Club. And I would like to say thanks to a second community of Turkish friends who is renowned for their love of Mama Sayvar. Huriye, Elif, Alp, Rojda, Ayuce. Together we had some of the coolest parties ever. I organized barbecues and they helped me with the cooking. And we also tried to run Turkish Student Association in Switzerland, Turka 1912. And we were initially doing a good job, that's what I believe. But unfortunately, we lost the elections to guys in Zurich and had to retire from politics a bit early. Yeah, you recognize the colors, right? But there were two people that I spent the most time with, and instead of thank you, I should be saying sorry. So this is also a first in a Ph.D. defense. The one is Ata, whom I met over Facebook while looking for trolls. And the other one is Ayuce again. And they had the hardest job of bearing my trolls all the time, taking bazillion photos of me, and trying hard not to kill me. So unfortunately, having me as a buddy was a very hard job, and I hope they are relieved now. And of course, I was also lucky to have a family that promotes education and backed me up in this process. I have 2 brothers, 2 sisters-in-law, 2 nephews, 2 parents, and 1 niece. And here they are. And unfortunately, they couldn't come in person, but I still wanted to honor them with this lovely collage. My father always wanted me to be a doctor, and I'm proud to make his wishes come true. And I especially thank my parents for naming me. And they gave me the coolest name ever, and thanks to them, I'm the first search result when I Google my name. And there are many others that went to their own ways, but still deserve to be honored, so they ended up in this Find Voldo page. Friends from Erasmus, friends from Bachelors, friends from Male, inanimate objects such as my scooter, my ex-girlfriend Gaye Su, Uncle Donald, and so on. I thank them all, and I thank you for listening. The end.
I think it was a perfect moment when he said why these trends are happening in Turkey, we don't know. Who is behind this, we don't know. It was a perfect moment to say, it's not me all the time.
Yeah, nice.
So, this is a present from all of us. First, it's this knife. If you want to stab someone, you can use this knife. But it has, on the blade, it has EPFL engraved, so they will know. And this is also for you.
Thank you very much.
You have to open it now.
Oh, okay.
So we got some money and we thought that the best way to spend this money is...
I can open it time.
Is to buy 17 kilos of chicken steak.
Okay, so çiğ köfte waits. I hope it's not hot. It's still hot, so we go eat that now.